Hey there, everybody. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, this is sort of an auto racing IMSA, WEC, Le Mans, whatever you want, whichever series you're into, video with the Lego twist, but not actually Lego. You may have seen that I had some other videos up recently that involved Group C or Hypercar kits that were made by non-Lego persons, shall we say? I don't know who. But they're kind of from AliExpress, and I ordered them long before all of this tariff nonsense sort of kind of reared its head and disrupted things. But just last weekend, no, I guess it was the weekend before now, my son and I were at Watkins, Glen in upstate New York for the IMSA weekend up there, where we have Hypercar and LMP2 and well, there's a whole bunch of series that are there, but the GT3s and everything. And it's something we've done for, I believe, 3 years now, and it is a great weekend. If you're anywhere in the Northeast, I think you probably can't get a better exposure to professional racing. And you can find videos of the amount of access that we had to the track and to the paddock and to, well, walking the grid on pit lane right before the race. These are all things that we did with general admission tickets. You can find the videos elsewhere on the channel. I'll try and remember to link them in the comments. But one of our favorite teams there, simply because we love the way they sound, are the Cadillacs. In particular, the blue Cadillac. Well, the chrome one's also impressive looking, but the blue Caddy just looks fantastic. And so we're going to talk about this not quite a real set. But this is the first one of these car sets that I've gotten that actually came in a box. So I think that's kind of notable. Just to give you a sense of the access we had, there's me and my son on the grid at Watkins Glen a couple weeks ago, and I believe the blue Caddy is somewhere up in there. So we'll get into what this is about. I've already opened the box, but that's about as far as I went. You can kind of see here, that's the back of the box, that's the front of the box. I don't know what that brand is. It is not Lego, and I do have it on good authority from somebody who works at a Lego store that their philosophy on building bricks and blocks and things like that has grown over the years so that now they're sort of more like they just want you to build something. It doesn't necessarily have to be Lego, and as a longtime Lego enthusiast, that of course is great news because Lego doesn't make this. So let's see what it's all about, shall we? So like I said, this is the, I guess, brand, and this box is a little worse for wear. Oop, and I'm leaking parts out of it. There's a lot of these kind of things on AliExpress and probably other sites. This set, which we're going to build, I think the thing you might want to take note of if you want to get this specific one is that there are 4 studs on the top of the front fenders. There's another set that has a much chunkier front end without the flatter nose that has more studs there. And when I looked at them, this looks like the best representation of the real car. Amusingly, of course, usually intellectual property is not a big deal, but that's not quite a Caddy logo, but it's not quite not a Caddy logo. And if we look, Keep My Specialty is the brand of the bricks, apparently, and that is World. Yeah, I mean, so the stickers are kind of funny. Speed car, which I think on the real race cars is where you would say hypercar. I don't know what that is. It's some kind of bent pipe and some gears. Very obviously, we're going for not quite Cadillac up there, but that's where Cadillac would be on the real car. And yeah, and if we flip the box over, I can show you the actual stickers too, but again, there's some kind of amusing variations on sponsorships. I don't know. We'll see what this looks like when it's built, but I'm looking more at like the color and the overall shape, and we're very definitely going after that Team Cadillac. So Wayne Taylor Racing DEX Cadillac. So we will see. One thing you should note though, and I'll show you that, hang on. So getting into this space is Mattel, who makes Mega Blocks, and they have Mattel Brick Shop, and they are actually, under the Hot Wheels brand, are doing some kind of version of this car. And this supposedly is what it will look like. It is a buildable. It comes with the Matchbox size version. I don't really know what to expect about these. I have one on order. Now, of course, it has the actual Cadillac decals because they did get the rights for it. So that will be one to kind of compare. I do have this as like a pre-order. So we'll see how that lines up with what I've got here. But I don't know. I don't know that this is exactly proportioned right either compared to their real cars. Is it closer than that? Really hard to say. So we'll compare and contrast. This is 20 bucks, and the one off AliExpress I think was maybe a couple dollars less. It did not, I don't know. I like these cars, so I figured I would get both because why not? So we'll see how that turns out. But something to keep your eye out for is what else they do here. They have a really nice Mercedes 300 1950 era. Seems to be sold out. So, but maybe they'll do something else interesting in the future. So like I said, it's unusual that this one comes with a box. It also comes with a printed manual, which has not been my experience with the other sets. They all just came with PDFs. And of course, the sticker sheet. Now, who's to say what quality these stickers are? When we start putting them on, maybe you'll get some inclination. But other than that, everything comes packaged in bags, just as if it was a Lego set. They really kind of match that. They're numbered. And yeah, so there's more bags in the box, but otherwise it's a pretty normal building experience, really. And much like the Lego Porsche 963 official set and the other ones that are this scale, this Speed Champ scale, they start off with that base plate, and it comes with a variety of wheel options. I have to count and make sure that I actually have all the sets there. It seems like some of these are kind of haphazardly separated from shipping. No driver, which has been typical of these sets. They don't come with a driver. Sometimes they come with driver racing suit stickers, but I don't think any of them that I've bought so far have actually come with a driver. And if I look at this, does it have a driver's costume on it? No, I don't think so. I think it's just the car. Anyway, so we'll build that, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, before I show you what the Cadillac looks like, let me remind you that you can find this Ferrari in one of my other videos. I give a review of that, as well as there's a variation on the Porsche 963. You can find a lot of current IMSA WEC hypercars on AliExpress and other places, but AliExpress is where I've been getting them from. And that includes the new Aston Martin Valkyrie, which is available in both the blue and in the green livery, depending on whether you're a European fan or an American fan. I don't have one of those yet. I'm waiting for an opportune moment price-wise before I order one, because with the tariffs and stuff, the prices on those have been kind of wonky. There's also a lot of great heritage designs, which you can't, again, you can't get these from Lego, so it's not like you're cheating on a girlfriend or something like that. These are only available through AliExpress or creating your own, but then you don't get the stickers. So, that's kind of the whole point of doing it. All right, so I built the Cadillac. I will say, unlike this Ferrari model, which actually says Ferrari on it because they don't care about the copyrights or manufacturer trademarks, and this Jag that also has the sponsorship on it, because, again, Chinese market, they don't really care about trademark infringements. Apparently, whoever made the Cadillac really does. So I'm going to give you that as a baseline. You probably already noticed that. I will say, I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks, it's in the same scale as the Ferrari. I can do it like that. Well, you can't really. Actually, I can be smarter about this, the way I hold it. So, of course, the Ferrari, there you go. So the Cadillac model is definitely right about the same size. It's within a stud, I would say. And width-wise, the I would say the track is pretty much identical. Engine cover is stronger on the Ferrari. I guess I probably knocked that one loose, or on the Cadillac. I guess I knocked that loose at some point. Anyway, so having said that, I do think that you do lose a little bit of that blue metallic finish that the real car has. I think that the nose maybe is not, it might be a little too high here, but again, the limitation of Lego is that. And I wish the headlights were a little bit of a brighter print on the decal, because I don't think you're really getting that full sort of hard, bright line that the light has. And as a comparison, again, I'll use the Ferrari. It has those DRLs sort of looking lines on the front, very prominent. I feel like the Cadillac probably should have a brighter mark there, but what are you going to do? You kind of get the stickers they come with. There isn't, it's one of those things like a real car, you say if the paint finish looks good from 10 feet back, you're good. It's sort of the same thing with this. It looks great from a little bit of a distance where you can't really make out what the decals say, but well, not really decals, they're stickers, but let me show you up close some of the weirdness about that as we discuss the design itself. All right, I'm starting you down low here so you can see what I'm talking about with that DRL not being quite really bright enough to give you that, well, almost a Thor's hammer look that the real cars have, as you can see from the Watkins Glen video I've posted on the channel of the real thing. It did come with 4 different choices for wheel spoke designs. You have to disregard my crazy tablecloth. It's very summery, my wife says, so that's why it's out here. It's just pretend they're speed lines. So I chose this particular wheel design, hub design, just because I think it's the closest to the cars that we saw. So I don't know, I think it would look good in the other wheel designs as well. Before we take anything apart, I wanted to point out, this is supposed to represent the hypercar, and I guess keep my specialty is the name of this brand of brick, because it keeps appearing other places on the car. And then I don't know what that means. I have no idea. And then there's some carbon fiber look stickers on the back and some other random. My son says that looks like at a glance, it looks like the Honda R for racing logo. So I've put all of these stickers on where they were specified in the instructions. Yeah, so here it's fast car, and then on this side it's car fast. And no, you can't reverse them because they're the size of the brick, and these are 2 different size tile pieces. So you could, if you reverse them, you have to swap the tiles, which I might actually do because it seems so silly to match sizes when the words don't really make sense. These are stickers. And if you look at, here's a good example, here on the front. If you look on the front, you can see, get the light to catch that sort of dapple effect. So you can see how glossy the sticker is, right? And there's this weird dappley effect that it gets because it doesn't really lay perfectly flush. And then here, there's a little bit of edge sloppiness that if I'd known, I would have trimmed it a bit before I laid it on. I may yet try and go back after that with a razor. I don't know how much I care that it's not a perfect fit. And you can see that in a few other places, maybe, where it just doesn't quite lay perfectly flat. And then, I did have on one side, yeah, they're not sized perfectly, so they overlap a little bit to get that pattern. So, especially where there's sticker versus no sticker, that's a really subtle, like grill sort of pattern, I think. It's supposed to be an intake, but you get it, it just kind of blanks out in the reflection, and you can see the edges. So they're not high quality stickers. They're all clear, except for where the printing is. And then, yeah, aligning them, this little red stripe and white stripe got a little bit off trying to get that side on. Same thing with the front stripe there. So I definitely have a good side and a bad side, because I think I got them a lot better on this side, that pattern. But you can see you're trying to match, that's 4 different stickers that have an ongoing stripe pattern on them. So it's pretty tough. Now the way I do these is I build the car and then I alcohol wipe it to get my finger juices off it. And then I'll partially disassemble it and put the stickers on that way. So they're pretty straight as far as that is concerned. The taillights, there are taillight pieces there, which I think you can see. But then there's also these red stickers that they gave me. So I don't know. I think it's kind of weird to have both, but I'd have to go back and look at the real car and see if that's accurate. But anyway, that is the overall car as it's built. I wish I could say there was cleverness in here like we saw with the Jaguar. Well, just to show you what I mean, I'll roll the Jaguar back in here. So like the Jaguar, you can take off the engine cover and it hasn't, a 12-cylinder engine in there, complete with, I don't know if that's supposed to be the water pump or what that is, but so, it has that kind of a coolness to it. The Ferrari that volunteered to come apart earlier does not. And this is more in line with the Ferrari in that there's nothing under this cover. In fact, it's integrated to the spoiler, so it doesn't come off super easily, but there's nothing under there to see. What you see is what you see. So I will say that they have tried to capture, on the real car, there are these like sharp blades that stick out unsupported on the front and the rear fenders. Now on the front, they are unsupported, but you really don't quite get that effect because it's only a one plate gap. But they did better on these rear ones, which kind of see how it's like that, how it's a freestanding blade, much like the real car has. Can you see that gap there? So that is kind of cool that there's that, awareness to try and make that. But I don't know that the effect is super dramatic. Oh, there you can kind of see it better. But I like that they tried. It has a little bit of that Batmobile vibe to it, which the real car certainly has. Interior-wise, we'll take this apart. And that's a steering wheel. This one did not come with any markings on the steering wheel. And by markings, I'll pull up. Of course, the Ferrari has these fragile mirrors. I knocked it off. Stick that back on. So we'll pull off the Ferrari canopy. See how they have sticker on their steering wheel? There's no sticker that was provided for this one. I don't know that I have extras either from another set. That would be cool if I did, but I don't think I do. The front also, well, we have this apart. So whereas on the Ferrari, it is an actual air gap. You see my finger through that side? So it is, kind of a floating hood that way. I knew those tablecloth stripes would be handy. See how that? The Cadillac is, it's just a kind of a chunky nose there. But, overall, the overall effect of this car is very much in keeping with the real car. And it gets that two-tone paint job very effectively done by using the different colored pieces. So I was pretty pleased with how it came out. And yeah, I think this would be a great addition if you're a fan of WEC or IMSA racing. The blue car races both sides of the Atlantic. So this is mimicking the original blue, not the current like metallic chrome blue, but it's a good model overall. It really has personality that fits its brand, just like the other ones do. I wish it had stickers that actually said the brand name, since we don't seem to be too concerned about trademarks on some of these. But apparently the company making this one is concerned. Now there is another version of this out there that has, it's notable because it has 4 bare studs deep front fenders. So it's like 2x2. And it has got a much chunkier nose that doesn't have as dramatic a drop in the middle. And this is not very dramatic compared to the Ferrari, for example. But this is closer to the real car, I think, than that other design, which is why I waited and got this one. We'll see how the Hot Wheels compares when it comes later in the fall. All right, having said all of that, I think this is actually a really good model. Like I said, I have an affinity for the Cadillacs in that they're the most prominent American brand in IMSA or WEC, at least until Ford joins the party, apparently as early as next year. So, you know, I kind of have a little bit of a patriotic fervor for them. And these are spectacular looking cars in person. If you look at my Watkins Glen videos from last year or this year, which are on this channel, these cars sound amazing. They look amazing. They're very different from anything else that's competing. And I think that's pretty cool. And this is a worthy tribute and will look good anywhere I decide to park it. So that is it for the Cadillac, and like, subscribe, whatever. Go find the other videos if you didn't see the other WEC IMSA cars that I reviewed. There's more than just the Ferrari and the Jaguar that I showed here. And as soon as I get my hands on one of the Valkyries, you'll be the first to know.